jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
Yep. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game, A-Side official. No negotiation needed, period. You already know WCS is back in the building. What's good, everyone? Salute. If you headed to the building, hit the button. The like button, man. Subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Big Blunts and Boxing on deck. What it do, Blunts? How you feeling, bro? Salute to y'all. See you in the building. The News by Shaw News Sauce Experience. Team Tucker official in the building. What's good? Salute to you. Everybody else is coming in bound. Appreciate your attendance. We got some topics to get to. I want to first start off by just getting this out the way, the Bakole and Kabayel fight, which is a great heavyweight contest, bro. This is a great heavyweight contest. Why? Because Kabayel coming off that Frank Sanchez win, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was only a matter of time before Frank Sanchez, the mover, gets exposed. He had his time against F.A. Jogba. He had his highlight moment. But he went in there and got exposed by Kabayel. Then you had the up-and-coming American heavyweight contender in Jared Anderson. He called himself the real big baby. He went in there against the Congo monster himself, Martin Bakole, who landed some pretty powerful, solid shots on Jared Anderson, knock him down several times, and he would get the victory. These two are set to clash for a title eliminator, and it seems like there's some finger point going on as to who is responsible for that catastrophe. Now, we all know negotiations are quite difficult sometimes, especially if you have two fighters that knows that there's money in it. They may not know how much money, but you have some fighters that's saying, yeah, I'm going in here for a tough fight. Martin Bakole knows it's a tough fight. He does. And Kabayel does also. But Martin Bakole knows Kabayel is not a Jared Anderson. He has fast hands. He has good spacing, distance. He knows that. So that's why I want to get to this article. And you can be the judge and see who's correct. Who's the one to blame as to why this negotiation process has crashed and burned. Kabayel fires back at claims from Bakole trainer. This is via Boxing News 24. The IBF has ordered a final eliminator fight between Kabayel and Bakole, with the winner set to challenge IBF champion Daniel Dubois. But that fight has already fallen apart, and Kabayel isn't holding back about why. Taken to Instagram, Kabayel dismissed claims from Bakole's trainer, Billy Nelson, who has suggested Kabayel was to blame for the fight collapse. Kabayel made it clear who he thinks caused the fallout. It wasn't me. Just so the fans know, I've never avoided a fight. I've never ducked anyone. I've always wanted to box the best in the world, he said in the video. Kabayel explained that Saudi organizers were on board, but claimed Bakole derailed negotiations with excessive demands, y'all. Excessive demands. All right. We tracking? We heard that before, excessive demands, right? Bakole wanted too much money, and the fight was on thin ice. I kept hearing they were negotiating with Bakole, but it didn't happen because he was too stubborn and greedy, he added. Now, one thing about these, Africans and whatever you want to call it, I mean, they come from different places in life, just like us Americans. Everybody comes from a different walk of life, right? But I think some of these guys are looking at what Francis Ngannou was able to accomplish. It wasn't like Ngannou wasn't getting that bag. It's just it wasn't as heavy as that 30 million that he made in 2 fights with Tyson Fury and then Anthony Joshua. Mainly the Anthony Joshua fight because he made double what he was paid from Tyson Fury. So now you have Martin Bakole, who's finally coming off that big win over Jared Anderson. I believe he's making these extreme demands. I truly do. This is a tough fight for Bakole. The winner gets to fight the IBF heavyweight world champion Daniel Dubois. I believe it for some reason that Bakole is looking at it like, man, I want a lot of money for this fight. You got to give me or else. He really doesn't have no power like that. He doesn't really have the star power. Like, to me, Kabayel has a better resume than Bakole. And if you ask me who I believe is going to win, I got Kabayel. I'm just going to be honest with you. The article goes on to say, I kept hearing they were negotiating with Bakole, but it didn't happen because he was too stubborn and greedy. Despite the setback, Kabayel announced that he's back in training and hinted a major update soon. Rumors point to a February return in Riyadh. If you look down here, okay, if I can put that up there right quick. Hold on for a second. It says, this is a tweet from Billy Nelson. Unfortunately, I'm hearing Ajit Kabayel will be joking the long line of top fighters who don't want to fight Martin. Real shame, as it should have been a good fight. So pretty much what he's saying is that it's been tough. It's been inclement weather trying to make this big heavyweight title eliminator fight between Kabayel and Bakole. And, Bakole, at the end of the day, Bakole, you have one big win over a fighter who hasn't been tested like Kabayel. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. And you get the win over Jared Anderson, who they was building up to be in this position. And then you come up to what you consider your biggest fight. And it's not even a championship fight. It's a title eliminator. And if indeed it's true, you're being difficult because Kabayel is no joke. And he has, in my opinion, he has a 70-30 chance of beating Martin Bakole. Real talk. He has a 70-30 chance. That's how I see that fight going. But it's not about what I think. My predictions are sometimes a donut on a Mercedes Benz. You know what I'm saying? It looks the part, but the ride may be a bit bumpy. I'm just saying. But we're going to move on past that. I just wanted to touch bases with you on this particular title eliminator fight, which I like the matchup. But as we all know, boxers in some cases aren't making a lot of money, and they get to a point of having a big fight, and it's just not there when it comes to negotiation. The money ain't there for some of these fighters who say, oh, this is my opportunity to really, shoot high. Okay, it's okay to shoot high, right? It's okay to ask for the highest and work your way down to what you actually want. They say that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Expect the worst. You know what I'm saying? Expect the worst at the end of the day. Shoot high, and then hopefully they can work themselves back down to where you actually want to be. Okay? So let's get down to the next topic. I want to talk about Ennis. Okay. And shout out to Jaron Ennis, undefeated IBF welterweight world champion. And due to the Spence freaking, cameo appearance, the good thing I didn't hear about this, nobody's linking Jaron Ennis up to Errol Spence anymore. Oh man, that is just so the peace, the solace that I get from not hearing these freaking whining ass goddamn former aerosexual fans linking and putting Jaron Ennis' name in there with freaking Errol Spence. You know why? Because we all know that if by chance Errol Spence's name was touted or called to be a potential opponent with Ennis at 147, they would be like, well, that's not a bad fight. It is a bad fight. It is a bad fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad no one was mentioning Ennis stepping up to 154 to fight Errol Spence, because then we'll see 1,000 freaking live streams on how Errol Spence had such a long layoff. Oh my God, Errol Spence, he's just, Ennis took it would have been another excuse for one of those anxious matchups. I'm glad I didn't hear no Errol Spence Jr., based off his cameo linked to a Jaron Ennis. I'm glad to hear that Jaron Ennis may be potentially set to fight Virgil Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? I was even glad enough to hear that when Errol Spence made his cameo appearance, I didn't hear shit about Crawford. Oh my goodness. It was so peaceful. I didn't hear Ennis. I didn't hear Crawford. I didn't hear any of that. I heard people talking about Spence, yo. That's it. I just heard them talking about Spence. People, oh, he's in shape. He's in shape. Oh my God, he's in shape. He's in tremendous shape. Physical specimen. Look at that specimen. God damn. His body fat is just so low right now. You can see what he ate. I think that's some pork chops right there. And he had another beef burger with guacamole. Yeah, he had 2 of those burgers. I can see that. Man, his body fat is low. I didn't hear any of that. I heard just Spence. I just heard people talk about how great he looked with no shirt on. Boxing is at an all-time low when they're desperately waiting a fighter that all these sources was out there. And no one has any word on his return. But let's get to the Jaron Ennis right quick, so we can get back to this, right? This is an article, of course, is Boxing News 24. I like to read their articles because they be so goddamn biased. But I said, say it ain't so. Hearns protecting Ennis, Ortiz Jr. 147. It says Eddie Hearns said a fight between Jaron Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz Jr. might occur at 147 for Ennis. Welterweight title rather than 154. I said, hold up. Wait a minute. I smell a motherfucking skunk with diarrhea. Yes, I do. Did you say 147, Hearn? Now, something tells me right here, right now, I should put it out there, that the glory that I seen in the bright lights when he initially signed with Matchroom it seemed like it was a part of a lunch. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a NASA lunch, like they was headed to the moon. The dude that filmed in the first time they had the moon landing when Neil Armstrong was there, he a bit older now, but they was gonna have him go up there first so they can get everything when they coming in. Yeah, that's what I seen with Matchroom. They lit that motherfucker up. Oh my God! But they was clout chasing Crawford though. They was clout chasing Crawford's name, and then Hearn say, oh, Ennis, he's one of the best out there. This now you definitely, give Crawford a run for his money and da-da-da-da. You heard all that. Then negotiations purposely fell out between him and Norman Jr. Boom, that's to the side. He goes in there and he didn't shit the bucket with Corinne. He didn't shit the bucket. No, he didn't shit the bucket. He just shitted on the toilet lid. You know what I'm saying? Some got on the floor. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. Ain't nothing for, that somebody can't clean up. Now, after the Korean fight, we was kind of wondering, like, will they revisit negotiations with Norman Jr.? Will we be able to see the 147-pound division reignite the spark, the fireworks, everything that we seen it was when Crawford and Spence was attending, when Thurman was attending? You know what I'm saying? Even throw Ugas in there. Even Danny Garcia, Sean Porter. I mean, the motherfucking light stayed on at 47. But what is this I hear? I hear that Ennis, who is trying so hard to be in the good graces of the fan, are you trying to tell me that Virgil Ortiz, who was having problems at 147, who moved up to 54 because health issues, you're trying to tell me, Ennis, Bozy, that you all want Virgil Ortiz to take a fight at 147? Do you know how bad that looks? And look, you Jerron Ennis and aerosexual, former affiliates, you should be on here criticizing the shit out this fight, because that's all y'all punk ass talked about that happened at the T-Mobile Arena. Y'all said what? Oh, he was weight drained and all that. Why the fuck do we want to see Virgil Ortiz at 147 against Ennis? Why isn't Ennis able to move up to 154 and take on a big name? I'm not going to apologize for the criticism. I'm really not. I'm not. Because, boxing has been around long enough for it to never be placed in this situation. For somebody to be questioned, do they want to continue to be a fan? Do they want to continue to subscribe to the sport of boxing because of shit like this? We have top tier fighters who are trying their best. You know what I'm saying? Listen to me, y'all. This is a guy, Ennis, who said when he was being interviewed by Ari Hawani, he was asked about how long do we think we'll see Ennis on the pound for pound list. However it was worded, he said 1 or 2 fights. Now, God damn it. You trying to tell me that Virgil Ortiz, why would this shit even be put out there? That you're trying to tell me Virgil Ortiz coming to 147 is going to be a healthy fight? We already have fighters that's not performing well in the IBF sanctioning body because of that 10-pound rehydration. We just heard Richardson Hitchens talk about that, how it affected him in that fight, his last fight, right? Then, WCS have mentioned that Jerron Ennis, in my opinion, is going through the same thing. He just don't want to admit to it. I'm serious. He just don't want to admit to it. It's no way you can be considered a guy who's a gym rat, but you come in here and you can't press that gas all throughout the fight, and you're only 27 years old. Do you know the shit that I was doing at 27? Do you know how long I was running? How many miles I was running at 27? What? Do you know how long I was in the gym? I felt good. But I didn't have to, even though I had to maintain a weight standard. I did. But I'm saying, like, for him to cut down for a specific weight class, 27 years old, 147. I know for a fact at my height, 6'2", whatever, at 27 years old, I wasn't weighing no motherfucking 147. I wasn't weighing no 155. And I'm pretty sure Virgil Ortiz, I want to get his take on this. I want to see if any one of them cats gonna run to Virgil Ortiz so we can kind of settle this, because I don't want to waste too much time on it if it's not going to happen. I don't think it's right for Hearn to try to get a fight at Virgil Ortiz at 147, and he's had damn health issues, stomach problems. That's just a fight that's going to be on the motherfucking docket for conversation, and then all of a sudden it's not going to happen. Let me keep reading. It says Hearn stated that they'll decide which direction to go with Boots this week. He said he still wants to unify 147. Going by Hearn's lack of enthusiasm when discussing a potential Ennis Virgil Jr. fight, it seems clear that he's not eager to make the matchup. Now look, what the fuck are we talking about? This shit is hocus pocus all the time. Why does information be filtered out and puppetize the listeners all the goddamn time, yo? You're telling me that Ennis wants to unify the 147-pound division, but yet you're talking about Virgil Ortiz fighting him at 147 pound, who is currently contending at 154 and has no title at the welterweight division. How does that fucking make sense? And Jaron Ennis is already 32 victories in. Man, this shit is absolutely asinine, I swear to God. This is asinine what's going on with Ennis, bro. I don't get it, man. I don't try to get it. Why is it so? We're about to head over to 2025. Why is it so difficult to try to start making these fights? You know what I heard? Also, Conor Ben is saying they're going to start talking to Mario Barrios for the next fight with Conor Ben for the next championship fight with Mario Barrios this week. They was going to start to try to talk that into existence. And see, that is a fighter who can shake up the 147 pound, that can provide that machismo and flair that we're looking for at 147. Conor Ben. He put it out there that they're going to try to talk to Mario Barrios. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's a bad fight. Man, shout out to B-Mac. The M-A-C-K-M-O-B-B. The Mac Mob is on deck. What it do, B-Mac? How you feeling, bro? Good to see you in the building. Mobbing. You know what I'm saying? Hope all else is well with your brother. What's good, OGWCS at work? Listen to this hot grease and cook session. One love to you in the chat. Appreciate you, man. Y'all definitely go check out the M-A-C-K-M-O-B-B, the Mac Mob, man. Check the brother out, no doubt. Mike in the building. JD in the building. Hope y'all getting ready, man. You know what I'm saying? For Thanksgiving. It's coming up in a couple of days. It ain't like it used to be. That's all I gotta say. It ain't like it used to be. It seriously, it ain't like it used to be. Real talk, man. Especially here in the South. Well, in the city South. Anyway, let me get back to the thing. That was so puzzling to me. You know what I'm saying? One could read Hearns like a book when he was talking about a fight between Ennis and Ortiz. He clearly wants no part of that fight. Hence, his yapping about the fight occurring in 147. Why do people continue to talk about how Hearns is, you know what I'm saying? He lacks enthusiasm in making the big fights. Like, I'm glad that's not the case with Jess Rodriguez. It seems like it's not that way across the board. But let me propose this question, Ennis. Does Hearn actually care about you? Like, why did you sign with him again? I don't see where you have levitated, brother. Seriously, man. I don't see where, maybe I should call up Neil deGrasse and say, hey, I know you're smart as shit, man. But how can we get this boxer Jaron Ennis close to the freaking stars? I know I've listened to you several times over. I understand it's impossible for us to touch the star, you know what I'm saying, and everything else that goes along with that shit. But we have a young 27-year-old who has a promoter who pretty much put it out there that it's going to be nothing but the biggest fights. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to get Jerron Ennis into these big fights. He's going to be a star. He's going to be one of the biggest stars ever. We haven't seen it. We seen him go in there and just shit all over the toilet seat with Corinne. That's what we seen. We just waiting on a big name opponent. And Virgil Ortiz at 147, when you have made the declaration to unify the division, makes absolutely no sense to me. That shit don't make no motherfucking sense. It goes on to say, if Ortiz is offered a load of money, he might do it. But it's pathetic that he would have to drain down to make the fight at welterweight rather than Ennis coming up to 54. And that's where I'm at with it, people. That's where I draw the line in the sand. Why don't see people talking about this? They may be trying to give it a little bit more time to go through the photosynthesis. You know what I'm saying? The photosynthesis. You know what I'm saying? It might be a lot more going on with the carbon dioxide and how the whole process works. I know springtime is far away, but maybe it takes this time. Maybe this is something that's in the cocoon. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this motherfucker right here, this news is out. Maybe it need to be pollinated. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it needs to be pollinated, you know, for something to happen in 2025. So next year, when spring rolls around, I'm looking at it from a whole different perspective. Maybe in the winter it's cold. You know what I'm saying? It's just not giving us what we need. It's not attractive at all. I agree with what they just said. If Ortiz is offered a load of money, he might do it, but it's pathetic that he would have to weight drain. And he'll have to drain down to make that fight at welterweight rather than Ennis moving up to 154. Why is Ennis not giving us the check mark, giving us the confirmation that he has the courage to move up the 54 and make a big fight? Okay, if you are placing it on your manifesto just like Spence did, right? And in no way, shape, or form did Spence reside in this type of decision-making process. Spence actually unified. He beat Sean Porter in the close one and beat Dennis Hoogas. This is no way, shape, or form in comparison to, and say they're similar in this analytics, this type of analytics. But I had to bring it up because Spence and Crawford they had left. They are in 154, right? Well, Crawford is. Spence is out there, you know what I'm saying, and all you can eat IHOP. You know what I'm saying? He's at the goddamn Golden Corral breakfast buffet. But anyway, I'm trying to see if I should stop giving Jerron Ennis criticism on his declaration to unify the 147-pound division, because I'm seeing very limited movement. That's all I'm saying. I'm seeing limited movement. I made several radio calls back to the rear. Delta Charlie, do you read? Over. Yes, can I get an update on that movement over there in Philly? Have you seen any Jerron Ennis activity lately? Can you give me an update on that? Over. Usually, if I send a radio call in, they give me a radio response back. These motherfuckers disrespectful. They won't even respond, y'all. They won't even respond. I tried to pull rank on their ass, all that shit. I said, don't fucking ignore me, goddamn. Give me a response now. Isn't any movement over there in Philly from Jerron Ennis on the goddamn unification of 147-pound or him moving up to 154? Give me anything. Anything. That's all I need. You know what I'm saying? I know we still got some carrier pigeons over there. Goddamn, send one over here if the radio and the battery's not fucking working right. Let me know something ASAP, ASAP, ASAP. You understand me? And that's all I get. They don't care. They say they receive orders on their end to give an NINI. No impact, no idea. They don't even call back with any type of response, dog. Hey, the article goes on to say Ennis had looked terrible in his last fight against Corinne on November 9th, getting outboxed and surprisingly outpunched by him in front of a large crowd at the Wells Fargo Center in Philly. Before the fight, Boots has said, "I'm going to have my fun," which was a code for, "I'm going to knock this guy out." But he looked miserable against Chukazagan and was lucky to come out of the fight with the win. And his stock dropped with that performance. And he's now viewed as a one-dimensional fighter who lacks the talent to move up to 154 to compete with the Sharks in that weight class. Virgil Ortiz Jr. would be an absolute disaster for Ennis, as would have 6 or 7 other fighters. So look, we're asking ourselves, for real. Because it's always good to have a self-checklist, right? Even if you get on the mic and talk this boxing shit, you got to sometimes have a self-checklist. And you have to say to yourself, does any part of this with Ortiz moving down to 47 excites me? Like, is there any type of compromise that I can make? Being at this Ennis now, and it's absolutely no compromise. There's no way that I'm just going to overlook the obvious. You say you want to unify the 147-pound division, but WCS knows that IBF, that weight rehydration is fucking with you. I know this. It's no way that they say you a gym rat, but you come in there and you cannot stay on the gas for 12 and you in your 20s, bro. You gonna get on the mic post-fight and say, "I am 27 years old." Oh my God, man. When, bro, do you know, Ennis, how much I want to come through those ropes, man? I wanted to come through those ropes and hit you over the top of the head with a hornet's nest, bro. I wanted you to feel the pain of saying some dumb shit, goddammit. Just maybe one of those motherfucking hornets to sting you in your motherfucking lips and tongue, and so you won't say some more dumb shit like that. You are 27. You got Manny Pacquiao still fighting in the motherfucker. You got George Foreman coming at 45, goddamn knocking out Michael Moore. You got Archie Moore. You got all these dudes that was up there. B-Hop. All these dudes that was way up there. Floyd, way up in the 30s. Look at Artur Beterbiev. Motor engine in there against a younger fighter in Dmitry Bivol. Motor, yo. Twin turbos on the motherfucker. And you said on the mic, I guess it's at 54. I am 27 years old. What? In my little John down. What? This dude said, "I am 27 years old. I am. I guess that I'm gonna be honest. I want to have shit to do with this Ortiz fight at 147. I don't. And please don't do that. Please. Several days ago, I was going to do a live and ask again why you haven't vacated your IBF title. I was saying, why haven't you came to a hard conclusion to vacate the one title that is not serving its purpose? Karma is upon you, my brother. The way you snatched that title from Crawford, who earned it inside the square in Vegas at the T-Mobile Massacre, how easily you picked that, it seems like it's cursed there, Ennis. You have not had any good luck since you snatched the title from Terrence Crawford after he went in there and earned that shit. Both 2 pound for pound fighters warranted, deserved, rated to fight one another in that clash. And they did so. But the way you set up there and didn't turn it down, and the IBF sent a dead end letter to Crawford knowing he was locked in for a rematch. And then when you get the title, come out, I got your title, now come take it. You don't find it funny how you have not had any. I'm talking about your candle of glory. It's like trying to light that bitch in the rain. They ain't trying to fuck with you with that IBF, bro. That shit has become a curse for you. You have not been able to excel with that title and the way you picked it up. Call it what you may. But maybe you need to just put the 147-pound division. And it's listen to me, man. Listen to me. Just listen to what I'm saying. It's not going to serve you to try to unify the 147-pound and use up here telling the people, I am 27. Bro, make the decision to go to 154 and you don't have to deal with the IBF no more. You're making dumbass decisions, man. Get the fuck out of 147. Don't nobody want to see a drained Ortiz come down there and fight you. I want to see you fight him at 154. But don't you want to get rid of that sanctioning belt? You've already been a champion. What more do you want? What more do you want, man? You have fighters that's a little bit younger than you already have 2 divisions under their belt. They already have 2 divisions. And they're just below you in age. So I'm suggesting to you that you put yourself back out there in the pool at 154 in a hot, packed division full of very competitive names for you to go in there with a clean slate, put the 147 pound. You are not going to have luck down here the way you think. The aura has already showed you how ominous it is there, Ennis, and you don't want to pay attention. The way Eddie Hearns is treating you, your performances, the debacle that you had with Norman Jr., all the people don't want to hear you going in there to have fun no more. Don't nobody want to hear you wasn't having fun. You're going to step on them. It's over and all that. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. You see how they dogging you out in this article. That's not me. I'm reading. It goes on to say, making the fight at welterweight give Boots a better chance of winning because Virgil would be weakened, drained down for 154. That's one way for Hearns' fighter to win. His chances against Virgil at 154 would be slim. Virgil is powerful, skilled, and one of the best fighters at 154, if not the best. Man, come on, you're smoking that good shit. You know what I'm saying? I see already that this motherfucking Arthur is goddamn sipping on something other than eggnog. You know what I'm saying? Don't chase your liquor with eggnog and you get stupid shit like this. It goes on to say, Hearns doesn't say if it was his idea for Virgil, 22-0, 21 knockouts, to come down to 147 for a fight with Boots at 33-0, 29 come by way of knockout, because it would be difficult for him to make the weight. Virgil hasn't fought at welterweight since 2022. Okay, let's bookmark that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Latch Puma in the building. What's good with it? Salute to you. You know what I'm talking about? It would be difficult for him to make the weight, period. Virgil hasn't fought at welterweight since 2022. We're headed over to 2025. And the one fighter that we're hoping and wishing to break out this motherfucking shell is Jaron Ennis. And now news has broke that they're trying to make a fight with Virgil Ortiz at 147. And he hasn't fought there since 2022. What's going on, man? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck are we talking about? It said, and he was having medical problems cutting weight to get down to 147. It's just bullshit. End quote. Yeah, there's a lot of obstacles, and we've got a call with Jaron later. Obviously, he wants to defend his 147 pound. Stop the MF impresses, man. F defending that IBF title. Who's listening? Ain't nobody want to see you defend that shit. We seen you do it against Karen, bro. Man, anybody in this chat close to Philly, bro, what are we doing? You're wasting your time. Man, look, you are getting older by the minute, and it's only a matter of time before you be in your 30s. Don't you want to be a 2-division champion there, brother? Young Bull, as they call it. Don't you want to be a 2-division champion by 30? Why are you saying you want to defend? You get no credits on defending your freaking title. Who freaking cares about that IBF defense at 147? Don't nobody give a damn about that shit. News about a fight between Jerron Ennis and WBC interim junior middleweight champion Virgil Ortiz Jr. for February. After his last fight with Karan, he thought it might be time to move to 154. He does want to unify the division, but he will be more than open to fight against Virgil Ortiz as well. So we're talking to other champions at 147. We're talking to Virgil Ortiz, and we'll make another decision this week for the next step for Jerron Ennis. The obstacle that Hearn is alluding to in a cryptic way is likely the need for Virgil to agree to the Ennis fight happening in 147. That's a deal killer right there. Ortiz went through hell making weight for his last 2 fights at 147. And it would be next to impossible for him to return to the division after 2 years of fighting at 154. Come on, bro. What the fuck are we talking about? Furthermore, it says, this just looks like a tactical way to show that they're not interested in making a fight with Ortiz. If Ennis and Hearn really want that fight, they would go up to 154 and challenge Virgil for his WBC interim belt. The offer we had was to fight Virgil Ortiz at 147, which is interesting because we get to keep our title. Maybe there's a move at to 154 as well. That's the correspondence we received, said Hearn, when we asked if Virgil can still make 147. It's a big decision for Jerron, and it'll be made this week. Am I not understanding this, or did I not donate enough money for the Make-A-Wish to the Dummy Foundation? Am I missing something, people? I'm just asking a respectful question, goddammit. Is it me? How can this be, yo? How can we be talking about him defending his title? How can they sit up here and continue to think that Jerron Ennis is gaining value by keeping the IBF strap and just making moves that essentially doesn't make any sense? You're saying the Virgil Ortiz is coming off a Bakram fight, being knocked down twice. He's desperate. It's mandatory for him to move down when it deals with his health, something that kept him out the sport for as long as it did, and then to make a return and the fight doesn't even last a cool 30 seconds. Are y'all understanding me? As long as it took Virgil Ortiz to return to fight at 154, we're reading info out here that they want to try to puppetize us once again for Virgil Ortiz to fight Ennis at 147. Why would Hearns even cater to this type of spoiled? I mean, come on, man. Nobody want to hear this shit. Hey, Virgil T has a lot of fans out there that's gonna tell him, man, don't drain yourself down to 147 for that bullshit. Who cares if it's a title shot? If Virgil Ortiz is gonna try to get in there and cut weight, it's gonna be a hell of a fight camp. It's gonna be extremely tough, and he's gonna come in there less than 100%. And if Ennis has one of the best showings that he ever had, right? No doubt about. We're gonna say it was Virgil Ortiz coming down from 154. So I'm looking at it like, why is Hearn even entertaining this when it comes to the media? Why wouldn't you just say move up there to fight Virgil Ortiz in a totally different sanctioning body and vacate the IBF and totally commit yourself to starting out in a new division? It's plain and simple, man. I've been trying my best to try to find little ways, on a point system to raise Ennis FICO. His boxing FICO used to be in the 600s. Right now, his boxing FICO is a goddamn 540, goddamn it. I wouldn't approve Jerron Ennis in boxing for a motherfucking EBT card with a $200 limit. I say he'll go out there and blow that shit on trying to fight somebody that didn't make sense. I give you, the only thing I got on my EBT is my limit. I'm gonna give you $200. You get to fight for my title. Okay? Yeah, I'm offering that to you, Norman Jr. too. I'll give you everything I got on my EBT card. Real talk. And I got some from last Thanksgiving. I got some a prepaid card for Cheesecake Factory. It's only like $32 left on that though. I give you that too. This is sounding like welfare and goodwill shit. It just doesn't make sense to me, man. Why such a talent like Ennis cannot just put his motherfucking glove down, bro, and say, I need to move away from 147. The aura of this IBF title is not good for Ennis. He's not able to shine with it. It's been bad. As they would say in Japan, dame. It's been bad for Ennis, the way they got their IBF title. But him being 27 years of age, I'm hearing that David Benavidez, who him and Ennis may be the same age, I think. I'm not sure, right? But I'm hearing David Benavidez may move up to cruiserweight to first face the Gilberto Ramirez. And the reason why I'm putting that out there, Ennis, is that there's other fighters who are moving. They're not staying around. They're not becoming complacent, big dog. Seriously, they're not becoming complacent, man. You're 27 years old. You're still young. Welterweight division ain't it for you right now. It ain't it, bro. If you was going to tell us in 2025, you was trying to make a fight with Mario Barrios, Stanthionis, Norman Jr., then people would be up. Their posture would be different. They would be excited. They would say, oh, shit, we got something to look forward to. But like I said in the other live, this year right here from 24 to 25, when it comes to boxing anticipation, we go into this damn holiday season with very minimal anxiety. We have no big fights lined up like that. And the one person that was supposed to take over the torch, I mean, even if he grabbed it from the wrong end, bro, I would rather you grab that motherfucker from the wrong end and get burnt. At least you would know the torch was handed to you. At least. But they up there, hey, Ennis, here go the torch. Ennis, bro, take off the motherfucking bomber jacket in the summer. Ennis, here go the torch. Ennis, bro, what's wrong with you, man? I'm gonna step on. I'm gonna stay at 147. No, man, the torch is the move. It's time for you to go from 147 to 54. Let's go. I'm giving you the torch. No, I'm stepping on it, man. Stepping on it. It's over. I'm stepping on it. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna have fun in 147. Why is he not willing to step up and catch the elevator to the next floor, bro? It's beyond me. But I gotta let it go. I can't stay on this shit too long, bro. Because a lot of the equations when it comes to decision making, even as a 27-year-old, is not adding up. It doesn't require trigonometry, algebra. It doesn't require none of that shit. It requires you to understand, in order for you to make the 5 million, the 10 million, 15, be able to headline a card in Vegas and turn your career around. You would rather just sit there and not understanding that Philly, the representation of Philly when it comes to boxing, you in the the shadows of a lot of great names, but that you're not living up to. Nobody wants to see a Virgil Ortiz talk. Nobody wants to see it. No one wants to hear it. There's a 154-pound roster that awaits the name Jerron Ennis. And you might want to understand that they're trying to give you the torch, bro. But I'm sold that you don't want it. It's something going on, man. I'm not even trying to be disrespectful because Ennis is a good guy to me, bro. I'm not even trying to be disrespectful, but it's just almost like it's just how you be around people that do the same shit all the time, and motherfuckers don't want to leave the block because they cool with them, they friends. They don't want to leave the block. They grow old on the block. And all the niggas talk about what, hey, when they get to the future, this is what I want, man. When I get this age, this is what I want to do, man. I want to get that car, man, convertible and all that. But man, I gotta get a job first. I gotta get a job. But I know, I mean, just let that shit chill, man. Right now, I'm feeling good, bro. It's the weekend, almost here again. You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling, man. Hey, let's talk about that another day, man. Hit that shit, bro. Take your mind off that success. Take your mind off success, dude. We all goddamn felling on some bullshit right now. Let's continue to be that. I don't want to talk about no success. Hit that shit, bro. Hey, give me that bottle, man. God damn. Give me that bottle. It's almost like with Ennis, it's almost like he don't want to leave the block. This nigga always talking about like, well, you know, I'm at home. I can get my feet up. I love it. Bro, you can still return back to Philly if you move up to 154. Ennis act like 147, and the headquarters is at goddamn Philly, bro. Somebody tell him 147 division, the headquarters ain't in Philly. This dude like, I gotta keep the belt. I can't go nowhere. That means I have to go on deployment like the military. I have to go away. I want to be able to go home and kick my feet up and be able to cook meals and shit like that. Hang out with the fellas. No, bro. Y'all aerosexual fans, y'all need to get a hold of your boy. Hey, mark my word, people. I'm trying to provide this man some wisdom, but he grabbed the torch from the wrong end and shit, acting like he's scared because the temperature didn't feel right. Talking about, why would they hand me that shit? And it burnt my hand. No, they didn't hand it to you. You weren't paying attention to grab the handle, nigga. You was up there just talking and rambling on. All you had to do was reach and grab the handle. They're trying to give you the torch. They're trying to say you the next. But you don't want to do it. He don't want to do it, y'all. That's all I'm saying. He does not want to do it. It's unfortunate, too. Because them cats that's around him that think he's the coolest guy on the block, they're not even going to freaking tell him. Like WCS trying to tell you, man, that IBF title you got is not in good faith, bro. The aura's all bad. For real. You want to walk around and carry that onus around like it's a backpack. And just because it's Gucci and Louis V and all this other shit is cool. Now, to my thumbnail, I know y'all seen the president to be, the president-elect. I just wanted to let y'all know his January 6th charges that was against him has been dropped. And I'm not saying that to basically be on any political type stance, but underneath that, I believe that it would be good if Donald Trump was to regulate boxing so we can have some type of sustainment, some order. We don't have no order in boxing. It's just too many things, it's just too many areas of boxing that's, really leading us astray. We're hoping and wishing for certain fights, and it just seems like those big fights will be over there in the sandbox. It seems like Turkey Al-Sheikh is coming over here, and he's just putting together fights, good fights, right? But it's going to be his way, and that's called organization. But the one thing about it, if he's going to continue to do that Riyadh season, us, the American boxing, the American public, it won't be privy to go and visit those fights in history. It would be good if boxing could be regulated, but a lot of people that bet on boxing all the time and basically line their pockets, I think it's just too many high-ranking people that does that on a regular. So, if the sport was regulated, would we have the back and forth, false narrative pushers, bogus ex parte media that's been put out to the public? Will we be able to see more of a generated fight, fight schedule that's out there for us with the best fighting the best? Because, the Canelo era, the Terrence Crawford era is very close to the back door. It's very close. Very close. Even with Crawford right now, we don't know who he has to fight next. We're hearing that they're trying to sign up, Jake Paul for a potential future Canelo fight, which that is crazy to me because Canelo is a 168. Or they're talking about Jake Paul, who a lot of people are talking that gibberish, saying that he has a face in boxing. So with that face, what they're putting out there to us again in this non-regulated sport. And I don't mean that if the sport was regulated, media will put out better info. But they're saying Jake Paul may potentially be in talks with Chavez Jr. Yeah, you heard me. You heard me. You don't need to grab a Q-tip and clean your motherfucking ears out. You heard me. The one that they're considering the face of boxing about to go get Julio Chavez Jr. Imagine that. The face of boxing. Anyway, Errol Spence. There's so many individuals that's wondering when he's going to return to the ring. And this particular, the real re-up said, I knew Errol Spence was keeping quiet because he was training. He plotting. I'm telling y'all, he going to stop Fundora, run that get back with Bud and unify 154. And I swear it's going to be a real war this time. Somebody take the motherfucking. This nigga fucked up. Somebody take his ID card. The nigga stayed too many times on aisle 3 at the package store. Tell him to stop mixing that motherfucking drink together, dog. You sipping on that hypnotic? Huh? You the type of nigga that's still pouring Alizé and wine cooler together and stirring that shit up to my man, nigga. You can't fuck with that right there. Take a sip of that shit right there, nigga. This dude said he's gonna stop Fundora, run that get back with Bud, and unify the 154 pound. And I swear it's gonna be a real war this time. Oh my God. Damn. Alcoholism is a motherfucking drug. It's an addiction. Real talk. It is a problem that you should get treated. Because sometimes when you're sitting up there fucked up, you open up and you find, oh my God, look at this keyboard. I like the motherfucking phonetics on here. Let me type something stupid on X. But look, that's not the reason why I want to talk about that motherfucking thumbnail. It's the fact that the one and only Errol Spence Jr. checkmark responded, because the real fans don't get the responses. It's just the ones that's either hating, they don't see on a regular basis, that they'll respond to them, right? That's how these boxers do. Errol Spence say, "You dreaming? Haven't heard from anyone in months." See, my issue with that whole deal was, I agree with Errol Spence on this. Real talk, me. Let me use my government name, Scotty. Scotty, is that you, Scotty? You agreeing with Errol Spence? You say, mate. Are you okay? You agreeing with Errol Spence, mate? Yes, I am agreeing with Errol Spence about you dreaming. Because goddamn it, the real re-up is motherfucking dreaming. And you see that Errol Spence didn't even mention what the hell he was talking about. He say, haven't heard from anyone in months. He didn't even acknowledge the 5-line para that you see in front of you. He didn't even acknowledge what the guy was saying about him stopping Fundora. He didn't even take any effort to acknowledge the Fundora. Run it back with Bud and 154-pound unification. And he's swearing on his goddamn dead dog who had 3 legs and worms at the time of his death. He's swearing on his goddamn lost dog, the one that was on the poster, and they know they buried that bitch out back. It's going to be a war, y'all. The real re-up was co-signed and confirmed by Spence and told him himself, nigga, you dreaming. Spence said, nigga, you dreaming. Put the cup down. But my lean in there, lean don't went up, man. My lean don't went up. I can't put the cup down. Plus, I'm on that Alizé and goddamn wine cooler, nigga. That goddamn sour apple is, it's delicious, nigga. It make you feel like shit, but goddamn it, that's just delicious. And then, you know, if you really want to chase it with something, you can grab a goddamn Michelob or Modesto, something like that, Modelo and shit like that, man. You know, just take it to the head or some Slits Mount liquor. Bull! And chase that motherfucker down, you know, or you can get some eggnog in that bitch. Yeah. Spence said, you dreaming. So what he was really trying to say, to get to seriousness, though, Spence was saying you're dreaming as far as him fighting Fundora, and he ain't heard from nobody. Now, this is where my question comes into play. Where's all the unemployed messengers that said that they had the phone numbers? You remember who they were? You know who they are. The usual suspects, right? They was always talking about how they had Spence's number, right? So I'm saying to myself, like, I'm going through some of these cats' catalog, and I'm trying to run it through a decryption type of algorithm to see, can I locate an IP address to be able to get a phone number? You know what I'm saying? Because they said they had contacts, they had phone numbers of Errol Spence, but Errol Spence is on the X pretty much downplaying and absolutely rejecting any notion that he's in fight camp getting ready for Fundora. Now, let's go off the physical aesthetics based off what we witnessed in a short clip, right? Appreciate Blunts dropping me that. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence has his shirt off. And all I'm hearing from dudes is he has a 6-pack. And you know, boxing is absolutely in a horrendous state of affairs when you're talking about somebody who just with no shirt on, talking shit, and people are trying any way possible to build him up to say he's in shape. It's almost like their confidence barometer is at an all-time low right now when it comes to Spence, and they'd try anything They will bloviate anything that deals with Spence. And that man does a cameo appearance with no shirt, and they say, man, he has a six-pack. He looks like he's right next to goddamn 154. I mean, he can make the weight today, tomorrow, 3 days. He looks great. And then if you look at the camera angle, his chin, man, I'm telling you, his facial bone structure, all that, man, all the swelling on went down from Crawford. Man, I'm telling you. They say when you get beat up like that, your chin comes back stronger. No, the fuck they don't. That's a motherfucker when you break your arm or you got a bone fracture. Man, it sounded good, nigga. Stop hating, man. Stop hating. I'm pretty sure there was some hairline fractures in there from what Crawford gave this nigga. I'm pretty sure his chin is much stronger than it was. For real. But my biggest you all is, when is he going to return? This man is going on 17 months. We're headed into 2025. And before you know it, people are going to be like, is he retired? And once again, we must remind ourselves that this is called Mr. No Tune-Up. Errol Spence said he's Mr. No Tune-Up, y'all. Mr. No Tune-Up. That's all I'm saying. He's going to be out the ring damn near 2 years if he don't get no fight soon. And at that point in time, it will behoove to get a tune-up. And then on top of that, all these resource counselors, you can't find out who he's training with. You don't know where he's training, who he's training with. You trying to tell me that these fighters that love staying in a secluded private gym and the sparring partners come to them and they don't like traveling? Is this not a lesson to you boxers out there not to do this shit? Because it may stunt your freaking growth. Maybe some fighters don't want to come to you. They want you to come to them. And what about these fighters going in other people's backyards and sparring just to get that different type of energy? I mean, you don't think it'll help? I think it will. But Spence shut this dude down. He told this, obviously a Spence fan, that you're dreaming. And I agreed with him. Because Spence said, man, you dreaming if you think I'm going to come back in there and goddamn run that back with Bud right now. You dreaming if you think I'm coming there and knock out Fundora. You dreaming if you think I'm a unified 154-pound division. That's what Spence said to that dude. You're dreaming. So all I'm saying, I want to send my well wishes out there and send a simple request to ask some of you resource counselors out there, can you please call Spence team up? And, you know, even call, you know, Derek James up and see if he has had a sighting and if there's anything on the horizon. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I really want to get down to the core of when we're going to see Errol Spence back in the square. Real talk. Is he even going to come back at 154? Because I said it before, he needs to contend at 160. You know what I'm saying? He needs to contend at 160. Shout out to Samar Warren on deck. Peace and blessings, beloved WCS. Certified, stamp the like button and support the grind. I appreciate you, man. One love to you. I appreciate you. But man, that's where I'm at with it. You know, you know, the only reason I put regulate boxing is because there's so many lies and deceit that's out here in the boxing media that you really get taken on I wouldn't say a wild goose chase, but it's just like you just led along based off false information. You're basically influenced, right? You have a lot of people that's hungry to go out here and talk about boxing. But at this point in time, the way boxing is being spoken on is all gossip. It's all hearsay. A lot of it's lies. You know what I'm saying? They have people out here that's just trying to do fantasy fights. If they're not talking about fantasy fights, they're complaining about something that went down already, or fighters who's going at each other on social media. Just making up shit. Not really talking about something that we can feel good about that's already happened, and we want to keep on talking about it. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, yeah, we was talking about it for the wrong reason. We're waiting on Richardson Hitchens and Liam Paro. At least that's a pretty solid fight to look forward to, right? I'm just saying. We got Ryan Garcia fighting over there in Japan. Hike, dozo. No one really cares. No one really cares. And that's bad. No one really freaking cares. What's next at 147? I mean, what's next at 154? I hear Caleb Plant out there calling out Edgar Berlanga. And that is something that I just want to touch on briefly. Edgar Berlanga continues to call out, Caleb Plant continued to call out Edgar Berlanga. And I really like that call out. Why? Because Berlanga was in Caleb Plant's face when he had a fight with Canelo, when he was doing his media tour, and he was talking about he'll knock him the fuck out. And Caleb was like, no, you won't. Stop saying that. That's a damn good fight. But guess what? It's not too many people even talking about Caleb Plant getting a fight with Berlanga because they want to give Berlanga the exemption clause just for losing to Canelo. And now all they want to say is, oh man, his stock went up. His stock went up. He represented the Puerto Rican fan base. His stock went up. He did it for the culture. He's a bigger name now. He stepped in with Canelo. Well, if Berlanga is a bigger name now that he stepped in with Canelo, then Caleb Plant has been a big name. And you can't subtract too much boxing FICO because of Caleb Plant being stopped and Berlanga being gifted with a Hallmark 12 rounds gift card. That is a good fight. David Morrell, David Benavidez, very solid matchup coming up. Very solid matchup. And then we're still waiting for Tank, for them to do their press tour. Gervonta Davis, El Chinchecker, and his fight with Lamont Roche. We're still waiting on that. But it's very shallow waters, bro. Swimming to 2025, goddammit. What's out there? What's out there, man? That's all I'm saying. But big shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game, man. Appreciate y'all for pulling up as always. Y'all continue to enjoy your week, of course. I know a lot of y'all is, getting them chitterlings ready. Y'all back there swinging and smashing them off the wall, getting all that shit out of them and, cooking them, getting them ready, prep to cook them, clean them and all that. First, and boil them in that hot water, pour it out, clean them some more. You know what I'm saying? Those of you that eat them chitterlings, you got that hot sauce up there. You can't wait for them things to get cooked. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just can't wait for that Thanksgiving meal. I hear you. I want all y'all to be safe, man. Continue to support WCS. You know what I'm saying? Greatness doesn't always come to you. Sometimes you have to hunt it down. Yes, sir. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.